Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you how to interface the ultrasonic sensor with Arduino UNO with the help of walkway simulator. So you could see that Arduino UNO which is in that our walkway simulator. So I have taken our ultrasonic sensor. So you know that by pressing this button you can come up with the inventory of input and output devices. So in which I could see that the sensor first sensor is ultrasonic sensor. So by clicking it, you will be getting your ultrasonic sensor in our layout. So you could see that an ultrasonic sensor, it consists of 4 pins. So you could see that the first pin is VCC. So VCC means 5 volt. So you are supposed to connect your VCC with 5 volt and followed by ground. So these two things have been done now. Then you could see that there are 2 pins. One is trigger pin, another one is echo pin. So in this program we have denoted that the triggering pin is as number 9 and echo pin is as number 10. So now we have to connect our trigger pin in number 9 and echo pin as mentioned in 10. So I have done the circuit connection now. Okay, so now after completing the circuit connection, as usual we are going to simulate it. So you could see that after simulating, the maximum distance comes around 397. We know that which is a virtual sensor. So here once you started simulating, it shows the distance which is in 395 sensor. Instead of if we are doing it in a real time, if you keep any object before the sensor, the distance may vary from 5 cm, 10 cm like that. So the ultrasonic sensor is one of a very common sensor. It will be used in various applications like to measure height of a person, to detect potholes in a road, and to detect the speed breakers in a road, and the robots which are used for autonomous navigation, which involves the help of ultrasonic and IR sensor. And you could see that in your car reverse parking sensors also, which is made out of IR and ultrasonic sensor. So these are some of the common application of ultrasonic sensor. So now let's move on to the coding. So this maybe look around 30 lines of coding, but if you split it into sections, it will be very easier for your understanding. So now, in the sensor consists of 4 pins. Among those 4 pins, there are 2 pins which is act as a input and output. Those pins are named as trigger and echo. So here the trigger pin is act as a output. Now the echo pin is act as a input. Okay. So what is mean by triggering here? So here the operation of ultrasonic sensor, which is purely depends upon the sound wave. So here a sound wave is triggered through the pin number 9. Okay. So through the pin number 9 we are going to give command signal to the triggering part. So it will start sending the sound wave in a forward direction. When an object is intersects the traveling of sound wave, the obstructed sound wave travels back once to the sensor. That part is called as echo. So this is the working of an ultrasonic sensor by sending and receiving back the sound signal. So those two processes is called as triggering and echo. So you could see that the trigger is called as output, where the sound wave goes out of a sensor, and where echo is the input, where the sensor is coming back to the sound signal is coming back to the sensor. So among this first 10 lines, you could see that you are naming the triggering and echo pin, followed by your defining the variables like duration and distance. Okay, so it is variable. Why means it is not a constant one. It may vary from time to time. For example, here the distance is 397. If it is a real sensor, it may vary from 1 centimeter to it goes around to 1000 centimeter also. So the duration and the time will be in form of variable. So that's why you are defining the variable, followed by you are able to see the output. So for that you are using a serial communication monitor. So that's why it is called as serial begin 9600. Followed by you are defining the pins. then this is the loop. So in the previous LED blinking program also you could see that loop program. So in the loop, when we have defined the LED on and off time, here we are going to define the timing for triggering and echo pin. So here the trigger is the output signal. So you are triggering the output signal in a low state for 2 microsecond, then for 10 microsecond as high, then followed by low. So why you are doing like this means, if you are continuously transmitting the signal, it is not possible to receive the signal. So that's why you are giving some time gap for a signal to travel forward and fall back on an object and returns to the sensor. So by which only you are able to receive the signal, which is nothing but our echo signal. So the duration can be found out like your sound signal is triggered and propagates towards an object and falls on an object and coming back to the sensor. So that is the time taken, that will be determined through our echo pin. So duration is depends upon the time signal to travel in forward direction and comes back to the sensor. So based upon the time duration, you can find the distance. So for that you need a mathematical conversion of multiplying your duration or time taken into 0.034 divided by 2. So by which you can measure the value in terms of centimeter, and finally I am printing my data as a distance and with the unit of centimeter. Okay, so that data will be shown on every half a second. So if I am increasing the delay, instead of 500 I am making it into a 5000. See, now the data will come once every 5 seconds. So if you are using the ultrasonic sensor for a particular application, every 10 seconds or every second it has to give a data, means you are supposed to give a delay as 1000. No, if you in an application where you can use or measure a data with few time seconds, then you can increase the delay. So this is the coding part. It may look like a very large coding part, but it's made out of 5 to 6 blocks. So where you are determining the pins and determining the variable, and you are initiating the serial communication, followed with labeling which one is input, which one is output. Then you are setting the timing preference for your output pin, followed by your calculating the variables like duration and distance. Finally you are printing in the senior monitor. So with this you can measure the distance. So thank you.